But let's talk about Bronny James. He was drafted with the number 55th overall pick to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, look, I will say this. Do I think nepotism played a factor as to Bronny James being drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers? Yes, I do. Because, of course, his father, LeBron James. The same way I can say that JJ Redick, even though he knows his basketball, been around the NBA, but at the same time, he does have a relationship with LeBron James, and they were also doing a podcast together. So, for the Lakers, even though people may look at it negatively because nepotism, but let's not act or pretend as if nepotism has never happened in sports.
Oof,
Doc
all the time.
Rivers, yeah, Doc Rivers, Austin Rivers, Michael Jordan. Remember how he used to ran the Charlotte Bobcats, now Charlotte Hornets, back in those days? Remember when he was with the Wizards and he brought in Doug Collins because of his relationship going back to their days in Chicago? Remember when Phil Jackson, when he was the president of basketball operations for the New York Knicks, and then who did he hire as the head coach? Derek Fisher. With no coaching experience in the NBA, but you brought him there because of the Lakers. Derek Fisher used to play for the Lakers while Phil Jackson was the head coach, and Derek Fisher would know a thing or two about the triangle offense. So, and also the Atlanta Hawks, BRF, the son and his owner.
Yeah,
So,
the wrestlers. Oh Jesus.
yeah. So let's
Mm.
not act as pretend as if nepotism has never happened. But I will say this though: black nepotism, hey, it's pretty good. Because it's rare to see black nepotism, but hey, it's pretty good. I'm gonna say it, but hey, I kind of like, but in some way, I kind of like it. Even though overall, I would have loved to see Bronny James go to the Summer League, G League, develop his game, or go overseas. However, but at the same time, you playing alongside your father. Your father, I definitely think your father played a role as to getting JJ Redick becoming the head coach, and you still living in Cali. And let's not act as if you're being broke, because you're still worth a ton of money because of your father. Your father's worth $1 billion. So hey,
And
black
you got an
nepotism,
NIL deal,
NIL deals.
and you got
So
NIL, and you had that NIL money. So you know what I mean,
and NIL deals, you can't forget the NIL deals. So in a way, I'm not mad at it. Even though it may not be the right type, even though people may not look at it and say, hey, nepotism, too much nepotism on LeBron James' part, but at the same time, and also an interesting thing that LeBron James is doing, he's becoming LeVar Ball. Because LeVar Ball, at
mm,
one point, he wanted to see all his kids play together. LeBron James is perhaps taking a page out of LeVar Ball's book, and he wants to play with his son. So LeBron James, the basketball player and the businessman, maybe we ought to give LeVar Ball a little bit more credit. That's
I
just
didn't
me.
think about that. That's a good
So,
point.
what are y'all thoughts about Bronny James being drafted by the Lakers? Champ, you
Right?
can go first
Oh,
because you are the
okay.
Lakers fan.
Hey, number one, I'm gonna say this, and I don't put it lightly. This is another story that the LA Lakers are selling. You know, the father son playing on the same team for a glamour team in a large market like Los Angeles. This is a story that they are selling right about now because they can't sell Winnie like they normally could back when the great Dr. Bus was alive. But I digress. Hey, how do you think Rex Ryan got his first coaching job? He got it through his dad, Buddy Ryan. How do you think Dave Shula got his first job? He got his through his coach, his first coach, Don Shula, which is arguably the greatest coach of all time. But who's that? Oh, yeah, his father. So my thing is this, man, and let's not even talk about the fact that Brian Flores had a lawsuit against the NFL because of nepotism. So, because of the text message that he was sent by the great Bill Belichick because they chose another coach over, Brian Flores. Let's not act like that lawsuit didn't exist. So let's not talk about nepotism when it doesn't favor you, I will say. I won't go too deep politically into it, but let's not talk about nepotism when it doesn't favor you at a certain point. Yes, it's LeBron, it's his father, it's a story that you can tell. It's something that people will pay attention to on the Los Angeles Lakers since, they didn't win. They're not nowhere near in a position of winning at this point in time. But guess what? Every single coach, even the great Sean McVay, his grandfather and his family was in the NFL for years. Sean McVay got his first coaching job because of Coach McVay. His great grandfather was the great Rich McKay out there at USC. So guess what? If you really look at all around, there's nepotism all around you. From Sean McVay, who is arguably one of the greatest coaching minds today in the NFL, all the way back to David Don Shula. So let's not talk about nepotism when it doesn't favor you. I mean, everybody wants to scream, everybody wants to scream to the high heavens when something doesn't favor you. But when it does, you don't say anything. I find that kind of funny, to be honest with you. And like I said, I'm not going to get too political about it, but you get what I'm trying to say. If it favors us, even me, if it favors me to walk outside today, yeah, I'm going to go. But if it doesn't, I'm going to complain about how hot it is. And that's what these complaints about nepotism is. We've seen nepotism go all around. Bill Belichick got his first coaching job. Why? Because of his father. There's a lot of play. Tim Tebow got a chance to come back into the NFL because of who? Urban Meyer. Yes. So guess what? Let's not even go, and let's go a little bit further. Let's go into the owner's box. Let's go with Jerry Jones and his family. You mean to tell me there's a lot of executives that can't do Stephen Jones's job? So let's not pretend like nepotism doesn't build organizations. It builds a hell of a lot of organizations from the corporate world all the way down to the blue collar world. We're just unfortunately seeing this at the sports level, which nepotism is all around. Since when have you saw in the last time you checked in the NBA, when the last time a hot young coach came out and say, this is the next guy? We haven't seen it yet. It's been retreads all the time. You mean to tell me Sam Cassell don't deserve a job? Two-time NBA champion, not to mention won a championship recently with the Boston Celtics on that staff. You mean to tell me that he doesn't deserve a job?
And Doc Rivers still getting opportunities?
Exactly. So let's not yell and scream bloody murder when it doesn't favor you in nepotism. Embrace it, because guess what? If I get a job on a network or something like that, guess who I'm calling? I'm picking up who should be your guest star. Oh, the same guys I was doing these podcasts with. Let me give them a call. Oh yeah, and I want their contract to be just as big as mine, if not bigger. So I don't blame LeBron or anybody else who is in a position to, and if you want to talk about nepotism, man, let me tell you something. Keenan Ivory Wayne's put his whole family on.
And how'd that turn out?
And that turned out real good.
Oh, they're one of the greatest families in the history of entertainment.
Oh, exactly. There's no question about that.
And when it comes to wrestling, Bret Hart, the Harts, his father was the promoter. He made each and every last one of his sons in the star. Nepotism is all over. But I will say this: people can get you the job. PSP can get me a job on the network. BRF can get me a job where he works. It's up to you to keep the job and to perform.
Two things could be true.
Mm-hmm.
Someone could give you the opportunity, like I said before with Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless. Yes, Skip Bayless did give Shannon Sharp an opportunity because
Mhm.
normally that type of job, a debating show, that's normally reserved for like journalists or columnists. That being said, it doesn't take away who Shannon Sharp is and what he's accomplished. Just means that somebody else along the way deserves credit. But we've seen nepotism everywhere. So let's not act as if it's never transpired. I just think people are just hating more and more because it's LeBron. And
Oh,
look,
absolutely.
and I also think, look, LeBron, he might as well enjoy it because, champ, as a Lakers fan, how much left you think LeBron has left in the tank? 2
That
years?
3 year contract is when he's gonna expire. Is when he's gonna go out and he's gonna do a big farewell tour. They're gonna thank him for everything he did for the game, and he's gonna have his son by his side. Like I said, the Lakers are. You also got to think about how this sells in Hollywood. This is Hollywood at the end of the day. The Los Angeles Lakers in
People love
Hollywood.
narratives.
Exactly. So guess what? I can't win right about now, so I have to sell you a story. And what better story is there to sell you than a first-time coach coming in with the star player, and the star player, his son, just so happened to get drafted on that team? It's a story to sell. People are going to pay attention to that, whether they care to admit it or not. Whether you want to, the thing is this: whether you want to see someone fail or you want to see them succeed, you're still watching the show. So guess what? You're going to be watching the show regardless. So this is a story that they can sell for at least the next 3 years, and depending on how they develop Bronny at a certain point and develop him through their developmental league and things of that nature. Depending on, I think he could be pretty good. But the thing is this, and plus you got the perfect person to tell you in your father to guide you and keep you away from the sharks out there in Hollywood. If you get my drift, to keep you away from the sharks. You don't have to go out there like a lot of these other young men and have to worry about guys robbing you blind on your contract. You don't have to worry about bad agents. You don't have to worry about people who are not going to put you in the correct positions because you have all of that. And that's one thing I can say about LeBron and Bronny at this point in time. Whether, no matter how big or small that Bronny becomes, he already has a good start. And people are going to say that oh yeah, he didn't pay his dues. I will say this, and I will end on this note: not every beginning has to be a humble beginning.
And that's what's so compelling because people don't want to hear the same story over and over again. People want to hear something that's unique. And look at college football champ. We talk Deion Sanders. He's in Colorado and he's again coaching his son Shador Sanders, who's going to be
Mm-hmm.
one of the finalists for the Heisman Trophy coming into next season, and one of the possibly a top 5 draft pick if he
Yes.
can produce another season. So, like I said, man, and I agree with RJD podcast. Go check them out. He said something. Sports media is so out of touch that they're self sabotaging. I do agree there. And he also said Bronny James getting more coverage than Zachary Ricochet is disgusting, and especially when you realize that they're not covering these draft picks because they're uninformed. So yeah, that definitely does play a part. But again, that also plays a part in media because the media has to do their part. And I just think is with LeBron before I let BRF go. Overall, people are not gonna like it, but at the same time, look, the Lakers, they had no plans. They weren't gonna win a championship. It's not like they were gonna have any deep plans or anything like that. LeBron James got like a couple of years left in that contract. He's gonna retire and finish his last couple of years in LA. He's gonna have JJ Redick there as the head coach. Bronny's gonna be there. I think LeBron James can also look at it from the standpoint, look, these are my last couple of years before I hang them up for good. I might as well enjoy as much as I can right now. Because, champ, I'm sorry. There's no chance that the Lakers are going to compete for a championship. After all, you even admitted, hell, we overachieved a couple of
Yeah.
years ago when you made it to the Western Conference Finals. So with Bronny, to your point, I love the fact that LeBron's going to be there because, hey, even though it's his teammate, still, that's still his son. And LeBron is still going to be there and help out Bronny, and he's going to still be there for the family. They're still going to be in California. And that's a great narrative. And it's going to be great for us to discuss But I hope that Bronny turns out well, because if he doesn't, guess what people are going to say? People are going to say, "Oh, it's a failure. It didn't work out well." That'd be like the son of Michael Jordan that played basketball and didn't translate. And I hope that Bronny does do well in his career. I wish Bronny the best, but we just gotta wait and see how this plays out. But BRF, what are your thoughts about Bronny being drafted by the Lakers?
I knew I knew it was coming. I knew I had a feeling it was coming. And then that story, and then that bombshell story that came out about Rich Paul was like, whoa, like to the chat, to everybody that might be watching us, and if you haven't heard, basically what Rich Paul was doing, he called every team except the LA Lakers and the Phoenix Suns and said, "Hey, if you draft Bronny, he's playing in Australia next year." I heard that story and I was like, whoa, like man, I want an agent like that who can give me some money when I can get it. Cause man, but it's good. I don't like the coverage that it's been getting. I think this should be celebrated way more than it's been, that it's been taught way more than it has been celebrated, because that it really hasn't been celebrated at all. It's been getting just destroyed in the media. And I don't like that, because, this was something really a lot of us have been really kind of looking forward to the last couple of years, when they started talking about it, the possibility of Bronny getting drafted, playing in the NBA with his dad, potentially being on the same team as LeBron. And this is something we've been kind of talking about the last couple of years, and to see it come to fruition, but yet just the media, just I guess the disgust with the media, from the media, about it. It's like, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like, regardless of how Bronny James turns out, regardless of how he turns out, the fact that he's getting to make the league and get to play with his father, I mean, that's something we should really celebrate. I mean, like, I want to look at it from like the side of it, like, getting to see Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. play on the same team with each other. Getting moments like that every so often. I mean, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's obviously nepotism, but I mean, y'all hit all the nails on the head when y'all pretty much talk about nepotism has pretty much been going on since the inception of sports. I mean, it's just how it's been. I mean, and some of the players turn out great or better than their fathers, and then some of the other players don't turn out as great. But I mean, it's like, there's really not much more I need to add, because y'all pretty much nailed everything as far as like, people should have been keeping the same energy with a lot of these other, examples of nepotism, instead of trying to just throw all their hatred toward LeBron James and Bronny James. Like, yeah, like, where were you know what I'm saying? Where were y'all when it was first announced that Stephen Jones was going to get a job in the front office of the Dallas Cowboys? Where were y'all? Where were y'all at then? Or where were y'all at when Doc Rivers was giving his son Austin, decent minutes? When Doc was coaching him, where were y'all at then? Or where were y'all at when just too many? I don't know. It's just too many examples of it that's happened to now all of a sudden get in the uproar because Bronny got drafted by the Lakers. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, people should have been keeping their energy about other stuff instead of trying to focus on him. It's just another way that people just want to try to tarnish Bron, but it's like, I don't. It's kind of it's pointless at this point, and like, you're really not doing yourself any justice trying to get at that man. You really aren't. So I just feel like, let Bronny enjoy this. He's got, what I'm saying? He's with his dad. He's with the Lakers. He's with his dad. Let him enjoy it, regardless of how he turns out as a player. And I think he could be a serviceable to good player in the league. I do, because he's shown some signs. I mean, I mean, I mean, he doesn't have LeBron's athleticism, but he's obviously got athleticism. He can obviously jump out the gym. I mean, he can obviously play defense. You saw that in instances with Southern Cal, his on-ball defense. He's pretty good on-ball defender. So I mean, it's not like he doesn't bring a skill set with him. I want to see him develop. I'm rooting for him. I want to see him turn into a good player. I mean, he's not going to be as good as his dad. I mean, let's just go ahead and throw it out there now to all the people that want to just harp all this pressure on Bronny James to be his daddy. It ain't happening. LeBron James, in my opinion, is the second greatest player in the history of the league. It ain't happening. It's not happening. So just let him develop. Thank you. Exactly. Relax. Let the boy grow. Let him be his own man. Because that's the only way he's truly going to thrive as an NBA player now. Let him be his own man. Because if y'all keep trying to put that LeBron James pressure on him, it ain't gonna go well for him. Just let Bronny be his own player. I think he can ultimately grow into a good player. He's, like I said, he's got a skill set there. I want to see him develop. I want to see what he turns into 3, 4, 5 years down the road.
All right. Definitely. Any last words before we move on?
I do have one thing to say. You remember what you said about nepotism and it being black nepotism and stuff like that. You ever notice this? And I wasn't going to say this, but I have to. Deion Sanders, LeVar Ball, LeBron James, guys like that. You ever notice when it involves fathers of a certain dynamic, they always want to vilify them?
Oh, they get killed. They get killed.
Just saying. Deion, LeVar Ball, now LeBron James. Want to scream high hitters about nepotism now. But like I said, when there's fathers of a certain dynamic, you want to scream to the high heavens about it. But when Archie was,
you stole my idea. You stole
my
my idea.
My bad. Great minds think alike. But when Archie was screaming to the high heavens to the NFL and the San Diego Chargers, now the Los Angeles Chargers, about not drafting his son, and guess what? When Peyton was in college, guess what? They was talking about Archie. They was talking about the Manning family because of Archie. But you ever notice when it's a father of a certain dynamic, it's always a problem. That's the only thing I can't get with about the media. But I digress.
No, you make no. That's more than valid. You make a fair, honest point, champ. And again, it's just a double standard, man. And I feel like media is just gonna have to do a better job. And I just want to read this comment right here from RJD Podcast. Same way they're uninformed about the W's, same way they're uninformed about the NHL. They're clickbait based now, and it's not just for YouTube anymore. It's filling our televisions now. So I guess anyway, just to entertain the audience, I guess. But I hope for Bronny James. I hope he does well. I don't wish bad. I don't wish ill will upon anyone. I hope he turns out well, and I hope for Champ's case, man. For the Lakers, because look, LeBron's gonna be there the last couple of years. JJ's gonna be the head coach. Hopefully, JJ can help out Bronny. I'm quite sure he has somewhat of a relationship with Bronny because of his relationship, of course, with LeBron. But we'll see how that goes.